The jungle breathed that it wasn't the quiet breath of sleep. No, this was something deeper. A living ancient rhythm pulsed through the earth itself. Trees taller than memory swayed against the wind, their leaves shivering like whispers between gods. Vines hung thick like serpent tails, tangled in secrets. Everything was alive. Everything was listening. And then came the storm. Clouds churned like black milk above the canopy. Lightning snapped across the sky, illuminating the tangled wilderness in silver flashes. Rain fell in sheets, a relentless torrent that turned the jungle floor into a churning sea of mud, roots, and broken branches. From the undergrowth came a sound not native to this place, not the cry of a jaguar, not the warble of a bird, not the hiss of snakes or the rustle of monkeys. A baby dot, it cried in the open, abandoned, swaddled in cloth already soaked through. The bundle lay beneath a crumbling banyan tree, half covered by leaves that dripped like tears. The child's cries were thin, not from weakness, but from something worse, unfamiliarity. This was not the world he was meant to grow in. And yet, the jungle was watching. Through the rain, movement stirred. Two eyes opened in the gloom, glowing amber in the flash of lightning, massive, unblinking, a silverback ape older than most, shoulders bowed from time but strength still written in every muscle. His name was Mata. He was the silent elder of the mountain apes, rarely seen, more myth than beast. He walked alone, not out of pride but mourning. Mata stepped forward, every footfall stirring the mud, his shadow rising like a mountain against the stormlight. He had come seeking solitude beneath his old tree. What he found instead was the child. The baby's hand flinched toward him, a frail human reflex. Mata froze. A scent touched his senses. Not quite prey, not quite predator. Something else. The ape bent low, and the baby blinked up at him through the rain. Don't fear. Just need. Mata looked skyward toward the roaring clouds. He should have left the child. The jungle was no place for the soft, but something ancient and wordless stirred in his chest. An ache, a memory, a decision. He reached out, his great arms gentle despite their strength, and cradled the infant to his chest. The baby stopped crying, and the jungle, as if in approval, went still for a heartbeat. Hours passed. The storm gave way to fog. Mata returned to the cliffs where his tribe sheltered. The infant still pressed close. Cries of alarm met him, not fear of the storm, but of the child in his arms. "What have you brought?" hissed Cora, the matriarch, a sleek black-furred ape with eyes like flint. "It is not one of us. It is not yet anything," Mata answered. "Let it become something here." The others growled low. Apes did not raise humans. Humans hunted, humans burned. Humans were death, but Mata's voice carried the weight of age, and the fog that rolled through the cliffs muffled argument. Cora turned away, silent, but the fire in her gaze had not dimmed. So it was that the jungle gained a strange new child, a boy not born of vine or claw, but taken in all the same in time. They gave him a name, Ru, meaning the wind, that does not ask to enter but comes anyway. He did not speak as they did. He did not climb like they did, but he watched on. He learned. Jungle Born, Act 1. Scene 2. The Cliffs of the Apes, cinematic prose. Scene duration, approximately 8 to 10 men's years passed like seasons on the wind, and the boy became part of the jungle, not by blood, not by fur, but by rhythm. The cliffs where the apes lived rose above the jungle floor like ancient teeth, jagged and green-veined, their faces streaked with moss and the memory of 1,000 rains. Here stone and root had long agreed to coexist. Trees grew sideways from cracks in the rock. Vines hung like curtains in temple halls. Sunlight painted golden trails across the cliffs each morning, and Ru rose with them. He was not like the others, not in skin, not in strength. His bones were soft, his legs unsteady. While the ape young swung from branch to branch with ease, Ru stumbled, clinging to roots and crawling up steep inclines with scratched knees and muddied palms, and still he climbed. Because failure was the jungle's most honest teacher. Ru's hair grew wild and knotted, the color of dried leaves, his skin tanned under the sun, darkened with dust and bark stains. He had no clothes but a wrap of plant fibers Mata had taught him to weave. He spoke no words, not in human tongue and not in the language of the apes either, but in his silence there was understanding. He'd learned to read moods from shoulders, to read intentions from stares. He listened to the wind, the birds, the trees, each with their own stories to tell. One morning, as the mist still curled between the vines, Ru crouched on a flat stone shelf, watching the jungle below with unblinking eyes. A sudden snarl broke the stillness. Branches snapped, leaves trembled. Rava, the young hot-blooded ape and Ru's closest companion, burst through the foliage, panting and laughing in broken grunts. Behind him came a flash of fur, golden and fast, a cheetah cub. No, older than a season, dappled with dark spots, her green eyes wide with wonder and mischief. The cub leaped toward Rava, who swung just out of reach, then spun in a full arc before dropping beside Ru. "She follows me like shadow." Rava grinned, pounding his chest with youthful pride. The cub pounced again, and this time it was Ru. She tackled, pinning him with small playful claws and a chirping growl. Ru laughed. His voice cracked and rare like a forgotten instrument struck for the first time. It echoed softly between the cliffs. They named the